Welcome back, YouTube. Sorry about the last video being broken. And then Velociraptor for you. If you see this video, maybe you can explain to me. And I don't understand how you did it. I don't understand how anybody used Windows Movie Maker, because Movie Maker apparently has a limit of 2 minutes per clip, and you know, it's not meant to record straight, you know. And right now I'm using the Logitech HD software for my Logitech HD C615. What is it? C15? C615? Yeah, C615 mobile camera. So unfortunately, it's going to be monaural because apparently, I guess they don't expect. Although you can choose a different mic, they don't expect that you would use stereo. Anyways, that's that on that. Moving on with the review. Show it. All right. Here's where we were. Oh, we were here. Here's where we were.
Grateful for the fact that we're getting a new set. I know that represents a commitment on the part of management. Here's what I don't understand. Why we're the only station in town that doesn't have to go in grocery told us Arlene. I mean, what's Arlene? Rain, again. I know, pressure the people at the parties you go to that we're the classy station. Sorry, I just don't give a rat's ass about a war in some country whose name I can't even pronounce. How about a real story?
Sir, I think your story just walked by the window.
What? And get the greengrocer's costume.
So did this vomit?
See, you can hear her walking by and stuff and breathing and stuff and kind of humming with them. So that's what I mean about her. It sounds like a real animal, you know. It sounds real, which, you know, you would have thought that Godzilla versus Destroyer Godzilla should have, you know, been able to do it. So, I don't know, but, you know, that's what I mean about the aliveness thing. That it doesn't sound real. Sorry about the phone. Jesse, the phone. Tell mommy the phone's ringing.
I don't have a name. Nick Tatopoulos.
Jesus. Is that what he dumped him?
No.
How long did you guys go out for anyway?
Nearly 4 years. Tomorrow I'm supposed to get ice cream married.
Ah, man, those footsteps are so epic. And it's funny how nobody hears them. You heard how Lucy just keeps going on. And nobody, you know, seems to care. I mean, until she gets to the restaurant and actually sends plates and stuff flying, or at least just vibrating.
Well, that's the problem.
Right?
He did.
Now. Now people.
Tell me that's not another parade.
I don't think that's a parade.
And this for here, because it's just like a pass by, like a hello kind of thing, you know. It should be, it could have been at a lower pitch, but okay. And even that actually is it's kind of creepy. Like if you are distracted and you have it in full 5.1, and you're, you know, not paying attention fully, and then you hear her actually do that, you know. It's, you know, and it's like, what was that? Oh, okay, it's nothing. It's the Godzilla. Nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, it's alright. But if you're not paying attention, you know, it'll get you. It did get me once.
What the hell is that?
See that? How it's just going and stuff again. That's what I mean about aliveness. And the Millennium Godzilla 2000, he doesn't do that as much. Now, yes, he did a lot of the stuff, you know, that she does the stuff. And he does some other stuff that the 98 Godzilla doesn't do, you know what I mean? Like, he goes... you know, and stuff like that. You know, he does some other things, and then there's things that she does that he doesn't do. But he doesn't do like that, like when he's walking around. I don't know if it's because maybe somebody else can help me out here. And you had, well, Velociraptor for you didn't watch this, but and also shout out again to Johnny the Whiz Kid. I can't wait for your part 2 of your review. And you know, I'm just doing a little audio here, you know, just commentary on the audio. But in any event, point is, you know, there's not much breathing and stuff. And we'll get to that later. Too bad it's not in stereo though, because you know, you'll be hearing this stuff in stereo the way it should go.
Oh my god.
See, like that. You'd hear it pass by in the left channel, like from left to right, and then of course that kind of thing, like, you know. See, that's the other thing. This one actually feels the impact of the building, so that was kind of like a you know, like when you bump your head against something really hard or something, you know. I mean, it knows it felt the thing, and so that you would hear on the right channel.
Come on, you crazy, come on! Ah, jeez. What's that?
See how she goes, you know, she's thinking, well, on I go. See, you know, the stuff. That's the part that Johnny said scared him, and yeah, I too. I mean, I guess if I could see, and actually it would be scarier being blind, because you know, you don't know where she's gonna step next. At least somebody who sighted, you know, you can kind of see where it's coming and get out of the way ish and stuff, but you know. And for those like Zazubar that say, you know, that they find the scene, you know, it's like the stupidest scene in the movie and whatever. Actually, you know what, you guys? He's playing with his luck. Like Johnny said, you know, he's messing, you know, he's taking chances. That could have been the end of him. Had you know, not her toes spread, you know, she could keep them locked like a human being can. Or had she just put her foot a bit more forward. That's it. Animal's gone, so come on, you guys. That's not just, you know, silliness and then, ooh, look at me, I almost stepped on him, whoopsie, you know what I mean? Although that's the roar here after this sound, you know, the step, and then of course this. I don't know if you heard that boom right before the last step, which again is on the left channel, and you hear the boom of the pavement pop. That's the sound that Evac makes when you hear, and then you hear all the people scream and stuff, and then of course you hear the Heisei roar. We'll get to the Heisei roar later. Yeah, I learned that from the action figure. I had a remote control action figure, and I've always touched its mouth when it roared. So if you can see me doing that, that's how I know how to do that. I know where her mouth is in each part of the roar. So that was chapter 8.
Document window.
Moving
Alt
on.
F4. My Sounds. I'd Godzilla 1998, Chapter 10.love.
Chapter 10, the infamous That's a Lot of Fish lined chapter. But I didn't record all that because, again, I'm not covering the story. Everybody knows the story. And then also, for those of you who haven't seen it, I suggest you watch it. Check it out on Blu-ray. It's now on Blu-ray. And apparently it's in full 7.1 DTS HD Master Audio Lossless. So check it out, you guys. And, again, disclaimer. All the material being used here is property of Sony TriStar. It's so just for demonstration purposes, just like everybody else is doing, but I figured just cite my sources, so to speak. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Enter. Select what?
See that? That could have been one of the things, because I hear that Frank Welker made some of the sounds. That could have been Frank Welker. And actually, that too, on a real surround sound system, that sound too is like, what was that? If you're not expecting it, it'll creep you out. And so I was surprised that Nick is not really creeped out when he looks down. Like he just to look into its eyes. I mean, like we'll get to in a minute. The 1998 Godzilla, and this is, I guess, why the G fans didn't really care about it that much. Not really a monster, a nightmare monster, so to speak, but, it's just probably in the sense of she's kind of awkward. An awkward iguana. Maybe in that way it's a monster, but it's not like the stuff nightmares are made of, and you'll see by the theme. So that's kind of creepy, and it's kind of weird. Nick doesn't freak out when he looks down, and because you get that breath. So I would figure it'd be like, it's right down here, kind of thing. And it would freak out. See, and that's the other thing with the Japanese one, and this is again one of the things I'm hoping with the 2014 one that has that underwater. Now obviously it's going to be different because that's on there. It's just essentially her doing her. And we'll get to the timbre of her and stuff later too. I want to bring up a little something funny about that. Might be kind of awkward about the timbre, but anyways, we'll get to that. That's all she's doing. It's doing that underwater. That's the underwater. Yep. You saw last time in my last video that you do hear the whole roar. And that sounds because what most of you heard was the whistle as she did the high sea roar underwater. Exhale. Look out! I'm surprised Nick didn't clear out, and I would have cleared out far and away, just because. How do you know where she's gonna come from? You don't know where you might, where she's gonna come out of. I mean, she's coming out of there, but how much of the, like, if where you're standing is part of where she is. See, again, this is why I don't understand how people didn't. I do agree with the G fans. Like, how does nobody know where she's gone? I mean, wouldn't you guys hear her pulling stuff apart like that? Because you hear all that squeaking metal and everything. But then again, probably people are never hanging around by the sewer, so they wouldn't know. Okay, bye bye. ¿Con quién se va? ¿Con quién se va?
No, yo me voy en el bus. La calita está muy petty.
Okay. That was just my stepdad.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. I gotta take you to the school.
Oh no, mañana no voy porque tengo exámenes. Entonces, mañana tengo examen. Anyways, that was just my stepdad leaving. let's see. See that? That's what I mean about, you know, how would you not hear all that chaos? See how it's a breathy, you know, it's like an actual animal that you, and of course you get the animal thing, and right here you'll see the, so she growls and stuff in between it, which the Japanese one, and the ones that really harp on are the later millenniums, starting from Godzilla versus Megaguirus. The only millennium one that seems to be this alive is the 2000 one, seriously. See, and she makes cute noises, like after she does that, kind of like she wants to gulp something. When she does the Godzilla, she also does on the left channel and then to your right. Which again, I'm sorry that this is not stereo, but I'm using the Logitech's software, and no, I guess they don't expect you for you to do stereo videos, and that's understood. I mean, their cameras are not stereo, but in anywho, then she goes. And so she makes cute noises, which I guess, I mean, that wasn't cool for the G-Films. I guess Godzilla's not supposed to make cute noises. And then you hear when she inhales after the you know, when she inhaled, it sounded like the of a tired horse. You know, or like a horse after you've been on it for a long while, you've been riding, and when it comes to a full stop. Except like a gigantic 400 or, you know, something foot horse. But anyway, the point is that, and then you heard the theme, and all this makes you want to reach out and pet her almost. How safe would that be? I know not. How trusty could you be of that? I know not. How advisable would that be? Nah, who knows. You know, I don't know. But, you know, it's kind of tempting. And also, as far as like caring, this scene kind of here that's kind of what's supposed to kind of start getting you to care. In fact, see that? It's just an animal. It's not really attacking. When you think about it, she never really attacks anything like they say. Yeah, that's true. The G-Fun's right. And then Godzilla does not destroy anything, really. But the thing is that she doesn't attack on purpose. That's the thing. She, you know, like I said before, she was just banging into stuff mostly. When she does, it's just banging into stuff. It's just, you know, stuff is in her way. That's the only thing that 2000 Godzilla does that was cool, though, that she does is that whistle that, you know, with that. No, he doesn't do the kind of wet thing at the end like she does. Then he does it at a lower octave. So that was cool. But disappointingly, they used the other roar, the one that I told you in the last video. It's more like the 50s Godzilla roar. And then use the one that's more like the Heisei. And here we go about what I was saying about Godzilla should inhale before the roars. Watch this. Now, that's another thing I always wondered with any Godzilla, and even the 54 one. I mean, okay, it's just a double bass, you know. Or, but still, people could pretend. Nobody reacts like it's overwhelmingly loud. Like when, you know, not even Nick right here. He just stands there and it's, as you just heard, this sounds super loud. So I expected him to react like it's too loud. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing I expect. I expected some kind of reaction if it's too loud or too, at least overwhelming. But then again, you have to kind of question, well, if Godzilla really existed, how loud would he be anyways? See, you hear breathing and stuff, and you even heard the, you know, it's getting annoying that all those buildings are in her way. Again, and I think this is what the G-fans don't like, that she doesn't attack anything. She doesn't really attack. It's more like she's just too damn big, too whatever, you know. And that's the thing about killing her, which we'll get to later. Like, why kill her? Just send her away. Lose her somewhere else. You know, do a Steve Irwin and of course, I don't think you did the whole people power thing, but you know what I mean. Get her and put her somewhere else. Get her out of New York. See right there. Look at that. Now she's curious, I guess, as to why, you know, how is it that on the pavement and stuff keeps popping off every time she takes a step, and then kind of shifts her feet. Takes another step just to watch, and of course then you hear her breathe. And then bends over to get the fish. And that's another thing. What's wrong with Godzilla eating fish? Well, someone's gonna eat actual food. If any nuclear people, you know, people that work at a nuclear plant, or anybody who knows anybody who works at a nuclear plant, please tell me. And I don't know, what is there in a nuclear plant that will actually physically sustain Godzilla? Because, I mean, whatever he supposedly feeds off of the nuclear plant, it's not actual food. It needs to actually eat something. And the fish makes sense. I mean, it is a sea dragon after all. And now,
close document window.
We come
Alt F4. My sounds.
to the part that the G fans really hate, or one of the parts anyway.
Windows RSS my pod. U enter. UF. Full enter. Tab. C.
Here's what I don't
Two.
get.
It's good to see you, Nick.
Well, you missed the stuff, you know, when they first start shooting, then that they start over and stuff. You know, that's how a real animal would actually behave. I wouldn't know what's going on. It doesn't understand what's happening. See, you can tell when she's gonna do her, well, what could have been atomic breath, but it wasn't, it was something else. It was a tornado blast. Or power breath, I don't know, because it's always talk about tornado blast. But anyways, you know, you get that angry cat noise. So, yeah. You know, that's, again, another thing with Godzilla. You know, he doesn't make a noise when he's gonna do his tornado things, or his, radiation things. So I hope the 2014 one does, because that makes it sound alive, and that's one of the things this one did to make it sound alive. And that again goes back to Godzilla 2000 is a step up from this, but again, that Godzilla doesn't make any noise when he's going to do his nuclear thing, so you can't tell. I didn't know when he did it. I know he did it because people say he did, but I don't know when. I know he does it when he blows up Wurga, and we'll get to that later.
Better tell me what the hell is going on. He's gone, sir. He's gone. Actually, I'm in pursuit.
Again, that's more of what I said. That it's just assumed that it's a guy. Well, at this point, they don't even know it's pregnant, so whatever. See, that's like leave me alone kind of stuff. Go away kind of things. Now it's panicking and stuff, and I guess the G fans don't like that. You know what I mean? But again, this is how real living animal would behave. Like this Velociraptor for you said in his video. How would it behave if it were an actual living thing? And whatever Godzilla you choose your Godzilla, whichever one. Whatever the original 54 one was, the Godzilla source one, whatever the 2000 one is. You know, whatever. If it were an actual animal, that's what it would do.
Follow my lead.
See, you hear actually breathe before she does it. You hear a breath.
All systems on. Echo 4 armed.
See, that's where it starts sounding girly, at least to my ears. You're still gonna verbally stuff at the beginning of that roar, and you know it sounds too chicky. So I said, no, this seems a chick. It can't be a guy.
He's pulling away, sir. I've got him locked on. Locked on, sir. Target is locked on. Fire the damn missile. Go. Fire stopwatches.
See it in this epic as it tries to get out of the way. If you can hear it, you hear, you know, like staring in awe, and you know the fact that they just destroyed that building.
That is a negative impact. I repeat, that is a negative impact. Negative impact, sir.
Negative impact. That's the goddamn Chrysler building we're talking about here.
You told me he
All right, let me
locked
press
on.
Control
forward.
Shift F. Control Shift F.
Now we get more of that panic, go away, leave me alone kind of stuff.
300 feet. Lasers on.
Yeah, a call for help kind of thing. You know, you can get the feeling that this thing feels alone and like no one wants it, and it's probably scared and stuff. You know what I mean? You get the feeling so you're actually living through it too. If you try, you know, and anthropomorphize with it, you can feel that it feels all alone, and you know. See, that's better. I like that sound better than the I say cheesy like spit up tape stuff that they do. And we'll get to this later. Now we're gonna explore a bit the thing of Godzilla feeling pain. So people say that in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla's bled and whatever. I didn't know that, and I think I saw that film. Again, why did I know that? Because it doesn't do anything. If Godzilla feels pain, let me hear it. Let it go. See, you hear that. I think they buzzed their tail. I don't know if they actually got it or something, but according to one of my nephews, they buzzed their tail. They shot a few bullets into it, so you can hear that it hurt.
Where'd he go?
So now she's had it.
Get together, guys. Prepare to fire. Fire.
See, that's about the angriest we'll hear from her. Doesn't really ever, that's another thing Godzilla was not good at, is sounding angry. I mean, that was about the angriest sound we'll hear.
I think we got him.
Alright, that sound is a bit troubling. For anybody who's watched The Land Before Time, you'll recognize that howl. And so that kind of ruins the credibility, because you know you can't hear that howl and not help think sharp teeth, and you know, in those cartoons. But so yeah, they kind of heard it with that. And now we get more to what I was saying about anger and, you know, even a war cry. See, it's just the call. And we'll get to the timbre thing, because that's one of the roars that, again, shows you more of the girliness of it. And the timbre of the voice. You know.
We've lost Echo 1 and 2, sir. Echo 4, where is target? Oh, Jesus! He's right on my tail, sir! I don't think I can shake him! Oh, I think I lost him. We've lost Echo.
Okay, that wasn't exactly a war cry either. That should have been like the Godzilla 2014 roar after the extended trailer. And that shouldn't have been a war cry. That's, again, one problem I do have with that 98 Godzilla. She doesn't express anger all that well. And that's, you know, they didn't have her express anger all that well.
What the hell is the matter with you people?
You caused more damage than that goddamn thing did! Calm down. Get some candy.
I don't want any candy. Leave me alone.
Now we're getting into sadness. People say Godzilla is supposed to be sad sometimes. Well, then let me hear it. See, you hear, and now we get this. See, like, why does everybody hate me? Kind of scream, and then of course it at the end, like it wants to cry or something. And then of course we get the long why kind of thing, you know. Depressed. I know Velociraptor for you says that it's her asserting her whatchamacallit territory or whatever, but it doesn't sound that territorial. It sounds more, especially in the context of being in front of after that sound, it sounds more depressed than it really. And then you'll hear the theme. Her theme sounds a bit fallen now too. again, remember that timbre, you know, the timbre things, the voices that can sound to it. We'll get to that. And of course, I didn't mimic the timbre exactly because I'm a guy, and you know, I'll get to that in just mere moments. In fact, let's get to that now.
Close to Alt F4. YouTube.
One of the reasons that I believe it was a girl is because the timbre.
Desktop podcast. Window. My back. My me. Enter. Music. 100. Arabella.
Is similar to this girl.
The kisses of the sun were sweet. I didn't blink. I let it in my eyes. Like an exotic drink, the radio playing songs that I have never heard. I don't know what to say.
See, the moment their voice rings, I guess also because of the echoes that they add, they totally make it kind of like Zilla's voice, sort of. So, you know, maybe with all the echoes and stuff that they add, to her, they made I mean, maybe some ETC fan can correct it totally. They made either Sarah or Tracy, whichever the two girls that is. They made her sound totally, you know, echo with everything a bit like Zilla. Singing, especially when right after the na thing too, they kind of ring like Zilla right after that and the ending of that depressed roar. You know, it sounds a bit just like that. And I would get the sample where they kind of sound like a bit like Zilla when, and of course you get the guys in the background, you know, when they're doing no, you hear the guys like that. Especially the way the timbre is like that. That's so you hear that when Zilla roars in the background, but not as much. You have to analyze the sound fully, and just you kind of hear it as the roar comes down from the, you know, and it starts hitting. So you hear that in the background with the, you hear the kind of, and then along with the part where it sounds a bit more like Sarah or Stacy or whoever that, or Tracy rather, or whoever that is. You kind of hear the guy part, you know, you hear it kind of. But not as much. Mostly what you hear is that, where it sounds like that girl. Then of course you hear the fallen version of the scene, where it sounds, you know, kind of saddish. See, now it's just now I can hear the tune. That also they kind of bit again, maybe due to the effects that were put on their voices in the studio and stuff. That also again seems to be like, so it's kind of like the end of Zilla's call, which like I said should have been a war cry. Like the when, and then you hear the clunk, you know, once it gets the first two, echo 1 and echo 2. So yeah. And now they really hit the timbre of Zilla when they go up, because you know how ETC had this thing about ending their songs in an octave higher than they start. As you'll see here. And they really hit it with, or whoever that girl is, really hits it when she says, and now the bells are ringing. She totally hits the timbre of that last roar, the one where it's the depressed sound. So that's those kind of things, and again, sorry if I pissed off any HEC fans, but that's just what my ears observe. And I know some of you are also going to be like, what? I know, I knew this was going to be kind of silly, but it's, you know, it is what it is. That's the temper I observe. So yeah.
Closed up.
That's again another example.
Alt F4.
You know, to kind of explore the timbre again, you know, and then you could get a different timbre with the first word. You get a more of a, you know, more honky timbre with the first word when it first came out. So, you know, timbre is it's like the different sound of a voice. You know, the actual physical sound of it. My voice is still different than Velociraptor for you. No, I'm not really good at impersonating his voice because I don't listen to him that much. But this is somewhat of an impersonation, kind of, if I remember his voice correctly, of Zazubar. You know, it's a little, it's got an edge to it. Also, you know, kind of a honky, a little, you know, edge to it a little bit sometimes. The Nostalgia Critics voice really has it. Especially when he's doing his Nostalgia Critics stuff, you know, yelling and whatever. Though he has a similar temper to Velociraptor for you when he's just talking calmly. Not as much, you know, his voice does sound a bit more strained and whatever. But when he's just talking, you know. Anywho, that has nothing to do with the review, other than just to explain the timbre. You know?
Alt F4.
And now we move on to
Alt Tab. Mode button.
To chapter
Windows M. Des Google Crypt RS. My sounds dash short enter.
Chapter
My sounds
11 part 2.
Short Maltrip. G. Godzilla 1998 chapter 11 part 2. Enter. Tab. Switch 11 16 20
Nah. Nothing down here. Nothing at all.
See, that sounds frustrated, annoyed, you know, and stuff. And I hope that the 2014 one does a lot of that stuff because the 2014 Godzilla seems to sound very annoyed. And of course, a lot of the war crisis.
Alt F4.
So you see,
Godzilla 1998 chapter 13.web.
Now we're gonna get to
Enter. Tab. Trapped. Shift tab. Click 60.
This time she comes up, but she's more cautious and is not as trusting of human beings anymore. So, you know, kind of more like, she doesn't feel secure. We're going to hear this. She doesn't sound as secure, and, you know, she's not purring and stuff, you know. Or we won't hear anymore the, you know, the tired horse thing anymore. I guess she's more than the defensive. We'll hear that noise that she was pulling down the boats. We'll hear that again, not 2 times. You know, we'll hear that she's more defensive, more alert, and more easily frustrated and stuff.
Guess we go this way.
with that growl too. After the guy cocks the gun, you hear the, or at least when you analyze it fully, like I do sometimes, you hear, you know, like the sound gave her a shake, because you know, unless your person heard a gun being cocked before, you know, now knows what these things are and remembers what they do. That also brings us to a bit of Godzilla being sad. As you heard at the end of that growl, you heard a mournful almost. So, you know, I mean, that's one of the problems I had with Godzilla vs. Australia. And the reason I have a problem is because, come on, guys, it's 1995. If that thing's mournful, make it make mournful sounds.
The park.
Now remember, they know about it being pregnant and stuff at this point. I don't know about if O'Neill does, but you know, I don't know why they assume it's a guy, and I don't know. I don't think your blood can reveal your sex. You know, I don't know how Nick assumed also. I mean, he didn't sex it. He didn't pull back the cloaca to see, is this really a guy or is this really a girl? What is this? But still, like I said, with the Godzilla stuff, I also spoke a bit earlier about the timbre and thing. Yeah, I think it was a Goddess-Zilla, personally. See, you can hear she's hesitant and thinking about stuff, and you know, doesn't really have much confidence anymore. No, and that's the thing. I have a problem, especially with the later again, from Godzilla vs. Megaguirus on. You know, we don't get scenes like this where it's just walking around. And even if you find when I have Godzilla the way he usually is, but have him breathe in between, have him growl and stuff like this in between the Godzilla stuff, you know, the call and whatever. Make it sound alive. Now we get into another thing. You know the Millennium Roar is long. Well, so is this one. But, and they didn't speak about the other roar. The other roar, the one with the whistle, as you may have heard, that one's the one that I said before at the beginning of the video, that on the other videos, that the one that honors the Heisei roar. Because really, it's just, see, like the later Showa Godzilla, the 60s Godzilla, and the Heisei one. And of course at the, you know, if you're doing slow motions, right at the, where it builds up totally, that's where it does that, you know, that kind of squeak or the whistle or whatever, you know, it's really high pitched kind of thing. So right there she did that roar that's more like, you know, the way the 50s Godzilla, the 54 one would have roared had it been an actual animal kind of sound. But that's okay. I mean, like I said, you can excuse that. I mean, I don't know how they made that noise. So we can't really say, you know, well, if they used an animal, we could say, well, I mean, why didn't they record whatever they used to make that sound back then? But we don't really know how they made that noise. So, you know, one can't really say, you know, because they have really made that noise back then or not. See that? That's more believable than the sped up tape stuff. I mean, that could have been a sped up sound, or maybe not. But I think they just pitch shifted it. They raised the pitch of the scream itself, so it doesn't sound as fake and whatever. It sounds like a real animal panic. And then that's why I ended that clip. But the one other thing I wanted to point out about that is you know, you hear more of the screaming, more, you know, leave me alone stuff. And then once he jumps into the Hudson River, you get this, you know, like, fine, and if you don't want me, I'm gone, kind of thing. Yep. And now we start getting into the really painful
Alt
stuff.
F.
Prepare your hearts.
Godzilla 1998, Chapter 17.
Oh, my friends, prepare your hearts. So, people say Godzilla should be sad sometimes. This said that, you know, one of its feelings should be sadness. And now we get into sadness, vengefulness, and hate. Well, if Godzilla's supposed to be sad, show it to me. Again, her awesome underwater thing, which I do hope the 2014 one does. See, she does the 50s Godzilla roar, you know, what happened to him calling up for chicks. And then, I guess she sees that one chick that she sniffs and stuff. See him get that, you know. Yeah, I kind of, oh. And I kind of like realized that something's not right. See, and then you get this a sad moan. Now you're gonna get that purr again. And then kind of scooping thing, and then she walks towards it and sniffs the baby and stuff. See, now we get more of a morning sound. I'm gonna get a gulp too. And I'm also trying to mimic them because, again, you have to listen to it cut dry, you know, with no surround sound simulation, because I'm using a virtual surround system, you know, the Bose Companion 5 multimedia speakers. So you're not hearing the stuff cut and dry, so, and I have. So you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, especially, at least with Godzilla vs. Destroyer, you know. Why don't we have that kind of stuff when it finds the baby? I mean, the only sad thing about that scene is that, yes, you know it's the little one that's dying, you get the sad music, but the adult, you know, you don't, and even the breathing that you hear, I don't know who that is, but it sounds too metallic too, it doesn't sound real.
He looks angry.
Well, again, it should have been, she looks angry, at least from what it sounds like to me, and I mean, this again where we get to, you know, Nick saying stuff like, we didn't listen, you know, I mean, you can hear it. No, she's absolutely furious. And then again, like, have Godzilla do that kind of thing when it spots Destroyer, or at least, you know, the next thing she does, which really shows you she's absolutely just enraged. Just listen to that sound.
He looks angry.
Listen to that.
What are we doing? Running would be a good idea.
Again, that roar she does when others start screaming after her, and I was like, let's go, man. First of all, you know, that's kind of foolish that they just go running. You would think they would try and keep low and stuff. But again, see, that's where we've lost all credibility of her being furious. Because that roar doesn't sound furious. It's again. You know, and it sounds too sing-songy. It doesn't sound furious. Now, yes, they trying to make See, they have a to trying to mend the fact that, but again, you kind of know that they added that to try to make her sound angry, because before that you heard the again, which sounds like a call. It doesn't sound annoyed. So, and those scenes insert Godzilla 2014's trailer roar, you know, at least where it sounds annoyed, or at least the war cry ones, like at the end of the official main trailer, or especially the extended trailer. Well, the extended trailer is the one I think that, you know, like the one that like I should have gone where she starts nabbing the helicopters. And see that growl at the end, that's where this got us tends to sound angry.
Alt
Sounds angry or
F4.
growl.
My sounds. Godzilla 1998, Chapter 18.
Yes, my friends, here we go. The fateful chapter, the most painful chapter, Chapter 18. Because we must now explore pain.
Enter. Tab. Seek left right slider.
This is where Nick pricks her in her gum with the thing, with the wire. See, and that's what I mean. Again, picking more for this on the Millennium one. When the Godzilla is being drilled, instead of doing the cheesy, I say Godzilla, you know, sped up tape stuff, why not have it do that kind of stuff? You know, that sounds like it's actually like an actual animal in pain. See, that's another sad sound. That's where she realizes she's been had, and that's when she starts getting kind of wired. That, you know, and that's one of the reasons why it's easy to feel for the Godzilla 2000 Godzilla, because it does that, and it does one of the other sounds where it's like, where she realizes she's been had. See, you're gonna, whoa, kind of tripping up, kind of roar at the end, and of course, I know, her slamming into something before that, and she was annoyed. See, you hear her panicking, and you heard her so, you know, struggle to try and get loose and stuff. And she's panicking.
Snap your cables. Do it. Now. Roger that.
Prepare your heart. Now we get to the most painful part of the movie. Prepare your heart.
Alright, Charlie, one on the bridge. Lockdown is fired.
So, yeah, listen to that panic and that scream, man. See, you know, again, that's what I mean. You can hear the actual pain. You know, you can hear that the missiles actually hurt. You know, again, back to pick on Godzilla versus Godzilla Tokyo SOS again. You know, why didn't I have it do that kind of stuff where it's an actual animal being hurt instead of the other things? Now, so yeah. This again is where I kind of agree with the G fans about, you know, Roland Emmerich not doing so well. He doesn't let you feel those three. So when you watch as a little kid, you're like, did they actually get her? And then when you watch it again and you heard that stuff, that's when you realize, oh yes, they did. You don't realize because he doesn't do it slow enough, or he doesn't do it in any way, shape, or form to let you feel those. You know, you don't get to feel the fact that they did it at that point. And he cuts back to the escape too soon. Now here's where we get to feel it. This is where the chorus and stuff comes up. See, we get that, you know, look at, you know, the pain. See, and again, back to the ending of that door, the timbre thing. You know, like that growl versus now wait to hear the tune in the second verse of Around the World. So, you know what I mean? And of course, some of the part of that, the screamers that came down the scales. That also gets kind of shaky too, and kind of warbly and gurgly. So, yeah, that's why I think it was a girl.
That's hit, but the target is still moving, sir. We'll circle around and fire again!
See again, the feeling the pain thing. When Godzilla was in Godzilla Tokyo starts being drilled, how come it doesn't do stuff like she does? You know, you get the you know, the missiles punch out, and you're you know, start to scream, and then they do too, and of course it's like you know, it knocks the wind out of her and stuff. So you know, like, why don't we ever get Godzilla feeling the pain? And instead of all that cheesy spit out tape stuff, why don't we get, you know, what we're about to get next? And get ready, everybody, because this also goes for Godzilla's Destroyer. And instead of the cheesy toy with a barrier about to die, kind of scream like they do at the end, why not do something like this? So you hear all the pain. And then, of course, the thing at the end. And then we'll get. Because again, I have to mimic some of this stuff because you won't hear it because of the surround something. It's just again like. I can't take the pain, and we'll hear it weaken and kind of. And nod off. See, and then after, and then now we see for anybody who watches rated R movies and stuff, and or especially Mel Gibson movies, and is used to hearing people go, you know, when they're being tortured or whatever. You know, now we get to hear this one do something that we hear agonize. See, and you know, that's my beef with the, you know, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Maybe because he was melting, you know, you wouldn't really get an agony out of him, you know, that kind of stuff. But how about instead of the dying battery roar, you know, we should get that, like, when it starts to feel the pain. I mean, come on, his spines are melting and he doesn't even react. You know, if the guy says, his spines are beginning to melt. And then you hear that chocolate syrup kind of stuff. He just stands there and then, of course, he do kind of stuff. Like, really? I know Godzilla's like this big old tough guy thing and whatever, but come on, it even like doesn't react to stuff that I know it has to react to. It's gotta feel its own spines melting. Damn it! So how about not have the last word be like this? Then of course you get that. No, she gets started. She realizes she's about to tip over. You know, probably hanging like this. And, whoa! it's about to come off. But yeah, like that, like it's weak and it takes an effort. Or even have it be something like this at the end.
Control L.
Oopsie. Now her final attempt at a full roar, proper roar, and of course she falls. And again, you know, we hear her actually die and stuff. See, when she falls off, you get that kind of kind of thing, and then you know, and then we get the gasp or the moan, which again, the sadness thing. If Godzilla was supposed to be sad, why not have him go? You know, you can hear the mournfulness and stuff in that. You know, like you know, she totally feels it. She's been had. You know, all they wanted us to get rid of her and stuff. You can hear it in that. I think it was. I don't know. I thought it was a moan at first, but because of the kind of thing right before you, I think it is a gasp. So yeah, you know, you can hear the sadness, and then now we finally hear her actually die. You hear her actually agonize, totally agonize.
Control L.
And of course we hear her heart just finally give out. And that's one thing we don't hear though. I mean, we heard her. You know, kind of dying. But we don't get to hear her last breath. You know, like in how in Passion of the Christ, he uses the breath after his heart gives out. So yeah, we don't hear her. No, breathe on her last breath. So yeah, and that's the saddest part of the movie. So that's what I mean about Godzilla versus Destroyer and stuff. I mean, you know, if Godzilla's in pain, that's him in pain now. Like whenever the first scream, with the first missile hit her, the whole 2-away thing, you know, that's the kind of scream I was expecting from the Godzilla versus Destroyer Godzilla. You know, I mean, like that, like a real thing, not that cheesy stuff they do, the sped up tape thing. And to go to the Tokyo, especially for the Tokyo SOS Godzilla. You know, if you guys really wanted me to care, you know, if the whole really wanted, you know, wanted me to care, you know, don't do the cheesy sped up tape stuff. And yes, they do the stuff to try and make you care, but the you know, the sped up tape thing doesn't help. It makes you not care. It's like, what? You know, it confuses you. It's like, you know, you're too caught up in the fact that it's fake. Have been like again, like I said, like this one. And then consider the fake and you know, that snort he does before he does his Millennium Roar. Why not have him do the Godzilla's kind of stuff, she does, before the last screen before Neil says, the directing, whatever. That kind of, the pain kind of sound. You know what I mean? Make it real. And I don't know how much you're supposed to feel for the Tokyo Soul's Godzilla, because in that movie he's kind of the bad guy. And again, I can excuse 1954 because, it's 1954. And, the guy's using a double bass and he's slowing down the tape and applause to Akira Ifukube for what he did and stuff. But, to prove my point of what they're saying, that when I watch those films, though, to make myself care, that's what I had to imagine. And so when Godzilla comes out again, instead of, if they were to remake it, instead of having to do that famous roar again, that's like having this one do her where did she go? That'll be like... That'll be like just having her go... Again or something. That doesn't show pain, It's so... when he comes back out of the water and when he does this dying thing, why not, if they were to remake it, have it do something like the, like this one does when, after the last missiles hit her, have it sound like it's in pain. And then it dies. I mean, it's not even pain. Its bones are being destroyed and everything too. So yeah. So that's my audio review of Godzilla 1998, and I was also going to do a combo of Godzilla 2000, but the only thing is that Godzilla 2000 does more dino breath stuff, and you hear some of the elephant stuff, and it does some other elephant stuff. Does the thing. And it breathes and stuff just like this one. And that's what I mean about the breathing before the roar. And that scene where the fire is roaring and stuff and the guy's like, incredible. It's like he's trying to destroy our energy sources. Now you hear him growl and then does the Millennium Roar. And then he does the Millennium Roar. So, that's what I mean. That Godzilla doesn't do as much as the 98 Godzilla did, but it does enough, and it's louder enough, and it's more realistic enough where it's a step up. You get the feeling that it's a real thing. It's alive. So yeah. That's it. That'll do it for Godzilla 1998. So yeah, let's hope the 2014 one does some of this underwater stuff and whatever, and and actually shows that it's alive, it breathes and whatnot, and so yeah. Thank you for joining me. This is Mr. Hamid64, aka Hamid Campos.
Title is Windows Media Player. Close Alt F4. My sounds. Alt F4.
Thank you for joining me. Sorry again, it's not in stereo, it's mono, but that's accepted the Logitech software instead of the Movie Maker, because Movie Maker, though it can do it in stereo and stuff, it does time out. And I tried Sony Vegas, and I know you're watching this Velociraptor for you. I'll send you the link and whatever, or I'll attach it to you for you in a message or whatever. But I know, I told you I could use Movie Maker, and yes, it turns out I still can. All you have to do is go into the applications menu with the Shift F10 or the applications key, and then just down arrow to capture and submenu, and then go into start. But it won't let me. It doesn't detect either camera. I don't know what's going on with that. But if it did, you just start, do your video, and stop, and there you go. And I don't know then how you add it to the timeline, but that's that with that, and and then you can post it to YouTube from the software from Sony Vegas, but, yeah. And I wouldn't be able to edit it and whatever. So thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you guys later then. Bye bye. And now I'm gonna call my nephew to Jesse to help me end it.
Help me end this, please. Hit the stop button. Because again, this Logitech software is not accessible to JAWS. So.
Del webcam central dialog. Del webcam central dialog. Del webcam central. Logitech register.